If you truly want your marriage, you can make it work. Is it hard? Yeah.
Real talk. A bad marriage and a great one take the same energy. So why waste yours fueling what's killing the spark?
If you want joy and happiness in marriage, if you want to keep making those deposits, if you want a successful business and you're just overflowing with cash, well, bank cash is the cash you should be seeking.
In this episode, we'll help you tune back in to your partner, your purpose, and the love you almost gave up on.
If you're choosing to love, you're making the decision to love, that this relationship has hope and the relationship can actually proceed forward.
It all starts with one powerful mindset shift. Hope is not a feeling, it's a strategy.
If you want to find happiness and joy in your life, love others. Welcome back to the Jason Magar podcast. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. Love to have you on our channel, get you updated on everything that we bring out. Today we talked about hope is a decision, just like love in the relationship. And you have to decide, am I going to be hopeful about my relationship, or am I going to look at it that we have no hope? We talked about love languages and how you speak them, and making sure that your spouse receives every single time that you're saying, I love you. And it's not about promoting yourself. It's about making sure that all the effort you put in is recognized by your spouse. A good marriage and a bad marriage have the same amount of energy. It's just where you spend it. I want to help you redirect your energy into doing things that gets your spouse to feel like you love them. In speaking a language and learning how to be multilingual in love languages, because if all you do is say, I love you in your language and your spouse doesn't speak it, they're going to feel like they're not loved. So I want you to listen through and really take these points to heart. Be intentional about everything you do in your relationship and you'll start to watch it flourish. An intentional business is very successful because they know why they're doing everything that they're doing. And I want you to view your relationship the same way. I'm going to be intentional and do everything in a way that brings our relationship closer and grows the hope that we choose.
I told you, when I walked in and I mentioned that I was enjoying my coffee on the way here, I was enjoying my car that I've been working on, and I'm enjoying just getting here to do this because I enjoy this. And that was a precursor where you laughed and you made it seem like you're referencing what you've been pondering on. What does that have to do with what you've been pondering on?
Well, I was doing reading this morning and I read a Japanese philosopher, and he said a genuinely happiness is a choice. So I get inspirational quotes emailed every day. Sometimes I read them, sometimes I don't. And today I decided to read them. And the first part of it was hope is a decision. And that made me stop and think for a while. And when I say hope is a decision to you, what does that make you think?
What goes through my head is being optimistic versus pessimistic. And I feel like for me, I definitely choose to be hopeful. I was taught to hope for the best, but not necessarily be a bystander to my reality, but tee yourself up so you can have hope because you did what you believe you needed to do for it to have the possibility of going at least in the right direction. If not, your dreams, I guess, is the extreme of best case scenario. What does it mean to you?
I teach that love is not a feeling, it's a choice. And in relationship, if you don't have hope, how are you going to make it? And if you're choosing to love, you're making the decision to love, and you're making a decision that this relationship has hope, then the relationship can actually proceed forward. if you view your relationship with no hope, you're dooming your relationship.
What's the recurring themes and patterns you see in counseling with couples that have told you they're on their way to like separating or are worried that they're really close? Do they seem to not have hope? They have none.
Most couples that come in do not have hope
Then what were they hoping for coming to you?
that I can fix it.
They're hoping that you can fix it instead of them fixing it.
Yeah.
So they're kind of putting it on you.
I had somebody yesterday said, well, Jason's not fixing it. I'm like, Jason doesn't fix it. You fix it.
And then what was their response?
We know, we've heard you we've heard you tell us that. But if you can't choose hope, I have one client and I fight with her to find hope. And that's what paused me when I read this morning is when you're dealing with somebody that's in a dark spot, the first thing you do is try to find positive qualities, find good things, find something that they can hold on to and want to work towards. And if love is a decision and hope is a decision, then your relationship is truly a decision, isn't it?
100%. I mean, being on this side of it and having a lot of knowledge and tools, I think I want to know what comes to your mind when you have to take yourself back to where your client is, because you're always trying to understand where they're coming from, but you're also operating from such a high level of psychology and understanding of how the Bible says a marriage should go and relationships in life and like loving people. But what goes through your mind of like, do you immediately just try and like remind yourself what that felt like? Or are you just asking them questions to understand how they feel? How do you take yourself back to then understand that? I think is what I want to know first.
My philosophy and my view is I'm always willing to get down in the mud with you where you're at. I don't care. I'm not scared to be in the mud. I'm not scared to be down. Okay, we're at ground zero. Cool. We got nowhere to go but up. So the internal optimist in me is always let's go up. But I see hope when I proverbially put my arms around the couple and say, no, we're going to walk forward together. We can do this. And Angel asked me one day, she goes, have you found any marriage that's not, that can't be saved? And my answer was no. If you truly want your marriage, you can make it work. Is it hard? Yeah. Most of the people that come in, they've done 10 years and they haven't done it well, and they haven't resolved conflict, and they haven't had conversations. Neither of them feel heard. Their love banks are empty. And they look at me and I'm like, guys, we can do this. I tell people I'm your Sherpa. And you know, when you climb Mount Everest, the Sherpa tells you how to get to the top. Why? Because they know. They've done it. And I'm really in counseling, I'm just a Sherpa. My job is to walk alongside you and go, no, don't step there. No, that's a bad path. You don't want to go there. But I really am going to circle back to hope's a decision, guys. Do you really want your marriage to work?
And I think you could frame it in the aspect of you're coming to me, and the underlying thing going on is I have hope because I'm choosing to, because I know what's possible. And by you being here, you're choosing hope, whether you think you have hope or not. Your actions. That's the thing that I find interesting when you brought up as one of the things that I was trying to come up with words for is you have these couples you say that have no hope, but I'm like, their actions say otherwise. And I don't think hope has to be just from your internal self. I think you can put hope in good people. Think about when you have down at your worst times and you go to a friend and sometimes you go, honestly, I don't know where I'd be without them. It's not your hope, it's their hope.
And while you were talking, it made me think I am the hope sometimes. They're like, I hope marriage counseling can help us. And Yeah, to come to counseling, that's a decision.
I think you just said that sentence right there. I hope this, it's really just comes in, I hope this can help. So it's like you could just call people out and be like, do you feel like you have any hope? No, I don't have any. Well, you hoped that this would work. So you do. And then you're like, I feel like that you could start there. It's like you're doing, and I feel like that's very, and whenever I hear couples go to you, especially people that I personally know from time to time, I feel like it says so much about them from their actions. It's like I don't care what you're going for or who you talk to. I mean, I have friends that talk to other counselors and things, and anytime they do take that step, it just says so much about the person. And sometimes I'm genuinely shocked. There's two extremes for me in my experience, and I haven't experienced a lot yet. I'm still young, but some friends I'm like, it was a matter of time because they're just the type of people to reach out for help. But then there's friends that I'm like, man, I never thought they'd ask for help. But I'm like, I should not assume anymore because actions speak louder than words, and you never know sometimes how people are going to act in a positive way. So, I mean, I think that's cool that you probably see some couples that they're so out of it or lost or just lacking something. I'm sure you're shocked how they even ended up in front of you. Or
No.
are you? No.
No. It's typically the same repeatable pattern. And there's outliers, of course, that I'm just like,
Well, what do you
this
think
is
about the
not-
people that go and get divorced? Like they never get any help. They just, oh, this isn't working. Let's file for divorce, get divorced. Versus the ones that are, I'm in pain. I think we should get divorced. Wait, let's go see a counselor and try and work through this. What do you think the differentiator is there?
hope's gone. And they're just not willing to do the work to restore it. And they view it that if I'm by myself, this will be easier than putting in the work with the person who hasn't done the work for the last 20 years. Why do I have an ounce of hope that they're going to do it now? I've told them this. I've asked for this. I've done this. They don't do back what I need. And I'll ask a lot of times, well, did you directly tell them that's what you want? Well, no, I implied it. Don't imply it. Ask. When I teach premarital, I say, who's comfortable asking for what they want? The people that raise their hand, I'm like, you're going to be able to get what you want in a relationship. The rest of you become comfortable asking for what you want. I can't get what I want from Angel if I don't ask her. And that transitions me into the other thing that I was thinking about. I was reading a book and it said, love your spouse like you want to be loved. I hate that.
That's counterintuitive.
Love your spouse the way they want to be loved. Love others the way they need to be loved. If I go around loving everybody the way I want to be loved, nobody's going to feel love from me.
What goes through my head is a revolutionary point of Ariana and I's relationship was not too long after we started dating when she brought up the idea of doing a love language test. I feel like that should be like day 2 of dating.
Pre-dating.
Oh, no, honestly, it needs to be before dating. It needs to be first date.
Mm-hmm.
I would message the person. If I could go back in time, I would message Ariana on Tinder before our first date and say, before we get there, I want to know what your love language is and we can talk about it. Or tell me what it is now so we know where we're coming from. And then
if you knew her love language, would it deter you from dating her?
I think at a shock value it would have, but I was so enthused about how she communicated and the more how conversation went, was more attracted to that. I want to say I would have been like possibly turned off, but I think I would have stuck to my gut and been like, this person just gets it, like, or gets me, like, as far as conversation. I feel like that is more important. Like the energy is more important to me personally. I'm not as analytical where, I mean, I don't know. Ariana might have felt the opposite. I don't know.
And what's your love language?
Acts of service.
What's hers?
quality time in words of affirmation, and quality time is above, but I think they're dead even. I figured it out.
It's, and I think quality time is the most mislabeled love language because it's not just time. And I've pondered what it should be called, and I come up with nothing else. So I understand why he ended up on quality time. Quality time is you think about me, and it's intentional to have that time together. And I was teaching somebody how to do quality time, and the wife said, I want you to plan our date nights on Saturday. And I said, she said, I don't like when he says, where do I want to go? And I said, why don't you on Monday pick 3 restaurants, send them to her and say, hey, these are the 3 restaurants I'm thinking about taking to you. Do any of these stick out to you? And then on Wednesday, you say, hey, I really want to go by this park and take a walk before we go to dinner or after. What would you prefer? And then on Thursday or Friday, say, I'm really looking forward to our date on Saturday. That really gets me excited that I get to spend my time with you. You just made 4 deposits in the love bank. It's not about just being together. It's not about going to a movie and sitting next to each other. That is not quality time. It's you've thought about me over and over and over again. And that's where I think when people read or, oh, I'm quality time, it's just you have to spend time with me. No. And can you tell a time when you really spoke quality time to Ariana or words and she just got lit?
I feel like for her, I'm such a go acts of service, always doing something, always thinking about the next best productive thing to do to move us or myself or her forward. I mean, for instance, like the part that makes me laugh, I guess this is more so for the audience listening and maybe they can relate to, is Ariana's a 3rd grade teacher. She's moving into her new classroom. She's at like the 90% mark. She's like, hey, I'm going to get this 6 cubicle organizer from Target. Goes and picks it up in my truck. I was doing something else. I had to be somewhere. So I took her car. I walk inside the house. It's pretty big. It's heavy. I'm like, oh, this is a piece of furniture that needs to be assembled. She's like, it's always implied that I'm the one that's going to set anything up like that. Because I'm just like a handy person. But she also is very capable and sometimes does things like that. And so we had a lot going on. She was going to there the next day. She's like, she asked me, because I was running out the door again for work. She's like, do I set it up now and risk it getting scratched in the bed of the truck on the way there, like things have in the past? Or do I take it there, drag it upstairs in the box, and then set it up? And I said, I don't know, whatever you think. Because she's so particular, like when things get scratched, it really bothers her, but she knows that it would be a lot easier to build it there because she had the time and just get it over with, whatever. So me being me, all this to say is that I got done working at like 11 p.m. I was working on a project late, and I'm a night owl, so it's a very normal occurrence. I get done at 11 something. She's asleep already. I walk in the house and I see that thing in the box. I'm like, I just can't let her put that together. Like, she doesn't like doing it. I don't mind it. There's things that she does that she doesn't love, but she knows that I hate. She doesn't mind it. I'm like, I'm going to take this opportunity while I can. So I go back to the shop 6 minutes down the road, put it together with my power tools. Lickety split happens 10 times faster than she would have done it. Threw it in the bed of my truck, put towels around it, made sure it won't get scratched, load up the dolly, and I just texted her a picture. She woke up in the morning, took my truck to work, saved her probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. And like, I didn't get like a response from her, like, thank you so much. Like that to her, like, it's like, cool, thanks. And I've learned to be okay with that. And all that to say that I had to learn to be okay with that And I had to reposition myself to answer your question of what is like a situation that you filled up Ariana's love bank with quality time. I had to go from the first thing is being okay with that lackluster response when it's my love language. That was an act of service. That was just me doing it mainly to fill up my internal love bank that just makes me happy. And then I'm like, okay, for her, it's casual. It's like, okay, now that she has that time back, I'm like, she's gonna probably get home a couple hour and a half, 2 hours earlier. And then I'll be like, hey, let's go on a whim and eat at this restaurant. And I fully zone in on conversation with her and just there. And instead of, she knows I'm always thinking of the next best thing to do. And she recognizes when I choose to stop. She knows when I have something on my mind and I choose to shut it off. And so it's very casual with us. Like there are the big things, but I'm not a planner. So it's very a lackluster response and it's not exciting, but it's really just during the week when I choose to shut off like very intentionally. Um, like yesterday, she was watching my nephew and we wanted to have we have a little like $30 blow up pool in the backyard and like my nephew's 4. And so we're like, let's just have like a little pool day at our new house that we just got that doesn't have a pool, but we just did a blow up pool. He's 4. It was fun. And I stopped working in the middle of the day, went there for probably 4 or 5 hours. And then I went back to work like later at night after we had dinner together and everything. And we sat as like a little mini family with me, her, and our nephew. And I could just, not from her words, but just from like her eyes and like the way she just sees things or like looks around, that she's like really enjoying that moment. And it's not really verbalized that much. It's more so I can just sense it. That was a really long response, but I just wanted to share maybe for someone out there who's trying to learn how to deposit in a love bank and they're understanding their love languages. I feel like it was important for me to share how I got there and the things I noticed. And specific to her, it's more so just me being intentional. And then if it's anything extravagant, like you would see some crazy reaction, like she plans it, she knows what's coming, and we go and do it, and I'm there. Like, I don't think, it's very rare, like, we plan something where she's like, whoa. I just don't feel like it's that important.
And I'm glad I brought it up because you gave me some good points to talk about. When you put that together for her and you text a picture, say, act of service, I just want you to know I love you. Don't miss the opportunity to let her know I did this because I love you in the way that I love you. And so many people do acts of service for somebody who's not an act of service, and it misses the mark.
You can really, like what you're trying to teach me is you can really tailor. There are subtle ways of, it's like an art form. It's like subtle ways of tailoring your communication to it, really, because it is because I love her and I was thinking about her. It's just easy for me to put in extra work in areas that I'm into. And I texted her specifically a picture of the bed of my truck with flash. It was dark outside and you could see the towels. I made sure she could see that it was all little details. And then I was just like, keys are on the rack, take my truck. And I said, I think that's literally all I said.
Yeah.
I should have said, love you so much.
And you could have said, I came home, I saw the box, I thought about you. It made me want to do this for you.
Dang, that would have been good.
I love you so much that I went and got towels because I know that it's important to you that it doesn't get scratched.
Dang, I missed the mark on this.
You did. And
dang, I could have filled her love bank up like 20 more %.
You could. And that's where people miss in marriage. And when Angel and I got married, I was acts of service, she was gifts. And when I'm sweeping the floor, I'm like, babe, sweeping the floor, act of service, just want you to know I love you. And I didn't do that because I want to shamelessly promote myself. I did that because I want my wife to know I'm saying I love you right now. And just because it's not your language, I'm teaching you how to speak my language so that when you see me doing things, I don't have to do it every year of our marriage. And it's funny because I actually converted her to acts of service. So, but it's really just making sure that every effort you do is not wasted. That's why people give up. That's why people lose hope, because they're like, I'm saying I love you. I'm saying I love you. I'm saying I love you. And the other person's like, you've never said I love you. How can you say that? I do it. You're doing acts of service, buddy. That's great.
I feel like in the terms of business and relationships, this is cash flow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is all cash. The currency of the relationship is deposits in the love bank and withdrawals in the love bank. And really just keeping that cash flow in mind and going, how do I maximize?
All right, let's talk about maximizing love languages. Let's go down each one really quick and give it an example of how you'd apply this. So let's start with something that's foreign to me. Let's start there. Gift giving. I do not understand that love language. I have people in my family, it's very real. That's the one I have the hardest time understanding, like what the motives are, what happened in your childhood to make you be into that. I think it's cool because they give some of the most creative gifts, but I guess if on both sides, or no, let's just say your spouse is a, what's the technical term for it?
Their love language is gifts.
Yeah, love language is gifts. How would you tailor? I'm trying to think how to ask this question.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah.
How do you speak that language?
If your spouse is that, how do you speak that language in multiple different ways without having to physically give a gift?
Gifts are very much like quality time. It's, did you think of me in this gift? It's not the price of the gift. It's not the extravagance of the gift. It's, man, I know you love tie-dye turtles, whatever. And I was walking along and I saw this tie-dye turtle and I'm like, you know what? I know you would love this. So I bought it for you because I thought of you when I saw this and it made me think, man, that's going to put a smile on your face. It's a thinking about and being intentional with that gift. Just like quality time is, I'm thinking about you over and over. It's that I thought about you, or, hey, I knew our anniversary was coming up. And I went to 30 different stores because I wanted to find this exact thing because I know you told me you wanted it 6 months ago. And I didn't miss that. And I've been looking for it ever since. And I really wanted you to feel special on our anniversary. You mean that much to me. Does that make sense? Yeah.
And I'm also, this is going to be a loaded question, but you tailored quality time to acts of service. So how would you tailor, I guess, no, that this doesn't need to be in the cut when you're editing this, but I'm just trying to think, like, do we need to could you approach each love language from?
Let's do each love language.
I'm just trying to think.
Because you don't tailor them.
Yeah, that's what's confusing me. You don't tailor them.
No.
You're just explaining how it actually works on a deeper level, and that makes it way more applicable to multiple. Okay. All right, so gift giving, done, cut.
No,
just move on.
Not done yet.
No?
No.
Okay, continue.
So, but gift giving is also, hey, I stopped at the convenience store because I wanted a drink, and I picked this candy bar up for you because I know it's your favorite. You have thought of me. And every time you can show them that you thought of them, then you're given a gift. And because acts of service to me is similar to gifts, hey, I knew that we had all this to do in the kitchen. I went ahead and did it for you because I know that it would make it easier for you to relax. So now I'm speaking my language and I'm speaking gifts because you have to think of love languages is becoming bilingual or multilingual. It's, you have to learn how to speak their language, but you have to teach them how to speak your language.
What I'm understanding, and I'll take this with me for the rest of my life, is the skill of formulating your love language in a way that they can receive it in their love language. You don't necessarily always have to do that. I need to plan a day or I need to go buy something. Change the mindset. It's how can I tend to their love language style and how can I formulate my efforts to make it click in the way they like to receive love, which that takes a lot of pressure off of an individual. I feel like 10 pounds lighter right now. I'm like, oh, I got to start getting creative.
Yeah. And that's what I think. And so many people bang their head against the wall going, I'm doing all this stuff for you and you never feel like I tell you I love you. And I say the words and they're like, but my love language is gifts and you haven't bought me. I had somebody that were married for 3 years and hers was gifts. And I asked her, I said, how many times in your marriage has he said, I love you? And she said twice. Because it was gifts and she only got 2 gifts in 3 years.
She said 2 times. She said she was only told that he loved her twice because of the gifts, not because of the words.
Yeah.
She disregarded the words.
They don't mean anything. I can say I love you to this wall. Doesn't mean anything. It's that I'm speaking your language. It doesn't matter what my language is. It matters what my wife's language is. It matters what my daughter's language is. And I have to make sure I speak it the way that they receive it. And if I can't twist it, I want them to know I'm doing it because I love you. I'm an acts of service guy. I'm going to do something for you because I love you. And it's weird to promote yourself. It really is, because it looks like you're egotistical and you're like, look at me, look at me. No, I don't want to waste effort.
I don't feel like it. I understand why you say that, but I don't think, as long as you articulate it with the because I love you or because I thought of you or because of blank you take a egotistical looking statement, but then it ends in a place where it's like, oh, that it cancels out. I feel like if you articulate it with the because, it cancels out what you're saying.
Yeah. It's the intention of I'm trying to speak your language and I'm not really good at it, but I'm still willing to do it.
And I think that the energy of trying is like the most important thing in a relationship. You don't even have to hit the mark. It's like, oh, there's effort. Like, that's cool.
And if your spouse is trying to speak your love language and they miss the mark, say, man, I'm so glad you did this. Next time, could you just put this in there? And that would hit it 100%. Cool. You're teaching me how to speak your love language. Most people take that as, oh, they're just criticizing me. They're putting me down. No, the greatest gift your spouse can give you is when they give you a nugget that says, love me better by doing this. That's not a criticism of you. That's them saying, man, I love you, and I want you to even be better at showing me you love me.
Just wanted to take a quick break from the episode. Hope you're enjoying it. I would love to help revolutionize your relationship. I will be releasing The Business of Relationships, and you can get your copy on pre-order. If you want to click below, give me your information. I will alert you as soon as the book is ready. I'm working really hard to compile my 18 years of experience of studying relationships and my 30 years of business experience to help get this together in a way that makes sense, that you can build your relationship, prepare yourself for a relationship, interview the candidates for your marriage, and then successfully run a business household that allows your relationship to succeed in a way that it never would without this framework. I hope you're enjoying.
I think something that's going through my head is, as a male in the relationship, which I would like to hear from a female one day, we should note this down when we have Angel on or whoever else, is, for instance, like your classic husband that works too much. You don't love me, you work too much, you like work. It's like, what if they're putting in the extra work to get to the goal that you guys maybe have stated that you want to do or have implied and it's not clear or it's extremely clear? It doesn't matter. It's like, what if she's just receiving it that way, but you could just send a text or a call, a check-in and be like, I'm going to be at work late because we talked about this goal, and I have pressures and feelings that this is the best deal is to stay late to get closer to said thing because I love you or because we said that's important to us. Then it's like I feel like there's so many arguments that are or disappointments that are diverted because the intention was right. You just didn't communicate it.
When you have that goal, say, hey, that's going to cause me to work late multiple nights. Are you okay with it? If they're like, yes. And then when you're working late that night and you say, yeah, I'd much rather be home with you. I'd much rather be doing something with you, but I'm sacrificing this time with you because we've chosen to hit that goal. You okay with it?
That's game. That changes everything. Yeah. And I just laugh because it's so hard sometimes when you're so focused on something to like take a step back, get in that mindset and communicate like that with that level of intention. That is a skill and a muscle that has to be worked out and built.
Yeah. And that's why the greatest myth of communication is that it has occurred. Because just saying I'm working late because of the goal, I communicated to you that I love you, I'm doing this, No, this is what we chose. Are you okay with it tonight? You know what? I'm really feeling lonely tonight. I want you home. Cool. I'll be home. Why do you come home? Oh, my wife's controlling. No. If your wife is feeling disconnected and tonight is just going to drive it further, come home. Work late tomorrow. Fill that love bank. Make that deposit. Let them know, yeah, we have this goal, but I'm okay to push it because our relationship is more important than hitting this goal.
Let's circle back let's go down the love languages really quick. So gift giving, we spoke about quality time. Now, what if your spouse, let's turn it on us, what if your spouse is acts of service?
Do something for them. To me, it's the easiest to speak because my entire family was acts of service. I'm cooking you breakfast. Why? I want you to know I love you. I did this to show you I love you.
Yeah, I folded your underwear, put them away because I love you.
I put this cube organizer together because I love you.
It's literally just stating things that you did. It's that simple. Literally, I get excited thinking about it. Like I get home and Ariana's like just did did the laundry. Like I was about to do it the next day and she did it early. I'm just like, woo! Like you didn't even have to say anything. I get excited. But if you texted me middle of the day, I did this because I love you. I'd be like, dang.
Yeah. Fill in that love bank, man.
I love
Make
you.
Deposits because you're going to make a withdrawal.
What are you going to do next? Just kidding.
Good acts of service person. Yeah. Okay. Love you. Give me more.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
Let's turn that knob up.
Yep.
Keep going.
Yep. Let me do something for you now because I'm excited. No, slow down. Say, you know what? I really appreciate when you think of me and do things that makes my life easier because she's words of affirmation. You're affirming that what she did really hit the spot. Man, you knocked it out of the park doing that laundry. She's like, I just did laundry. What's wrong with you? Man, you gave me a huge deposit.
Yeah.
That's like $100 bill right there.
I've said that like sometimes like she'll make like she'll do something like that or any random task. I'm like, I'll tell her every now and then like, I just love that you did that. And she's just like confused. Like, why do you care that much about that? I'm like, it's just so funny.
Tell her that's an act of service. You're hitting it. You're doing what I need. Now she knows, okay, I'm learning how to speak acts of service.
And I think on the other side of this, it's equally important to constantly, what would be the word to acknowledge? Because this is catching me up right now. Ariana did laundry, which is such a superficial example. I hate that I'm saying this.
You like it, but there's nothing wrong with it.
It's true. Like, it's just what goes through my head for someone that's not acts of service is this is 5 minutes at taking the laundry to the deal, and I'm calculating 5 minutes up front, 5 minutes after, 5 minutes folding it and putting it away. That saved me 15 minutes to go pour into something that I'm passionate about. And that excites me because the more time I spend having fun, enjoying what I'm doing or something I'm passionate about, the happier and more fulfilled I feel in my own pursuits that are aligned with our joint pursuits. And I can show up more for her love banks because I've had so much of my time or my tank filled up. And it just constantly exponentially builds upon itself. But what you're making me realize is she's started doing certain things in our marriage that are for my love language. And as she's turned it up, I've turned my acknowledgement down because I'm like, oh, she's learning, but that means I can just let it go. And I'm realizing right now, no. Like that's the part where you can get caught slipping.
Because then you just expect it. And then you're like,
Then what is it at that point?
yeah. And then she stops doing things and you're like, well, you don't love me anymore.
Yeah.
All hope is gone. We're done.
And you have to constantly communicate how you like to be loved or need to be loved for the longevity of the business of the relationship.
Yeah. And especially if you don't know that language. Once you get it and once you're both speaking the language, I don't say it as often, but when I'm doing something I really don't want to do, I'm like, this is an act of service. I just want you to know that. And Angel will usually respond, I know. Because she knows I don't want to do it. But Angel's really cool and intentional. And she was listening to something about Mel Robbins said something. And she said, when you're in a relationship, your partner does amazing things. And when the relationship ends and you go with somebody else, you don't realize how amazing those things were. And she goes, I just wanted to think about something that you do so that I can fill you up. And I was heading to counseling, so I didn't have a lot of time. She goes, I'm just going to give you one example and then let you go. And I was like, okay. And she goes, every time I ask you to do something, you always say, okay. You don't ask me why. You don't push back. You go, well, that's just inconvenient. Why did you ask me? She goes, you just say, okay. And she goes, that is the coolest thing about you. She goes, you don't care. She goes, if I need it done, you do it. Hey, can you wake up more early and take Brooke here? Sure. Why? Because I love her. I want to do it. I don't care. If that's what you need, let me serve you. And it's really, really cool that she acknowledged that without me prompting her, without me asking. She was just listening to something, said, hey, I want to make it a big deposit in my husband thing. I'm not words of affirmation, but that was really cool because she recognizes all my acts of service without me even saying anything. So, and that goes to this other quote that I found. And it said, a genuinely happy person is one who has rendered others happy.
Is that implying that they coming from a standpoint that they believe they're already happy?
No. What does that mean? If you want to find happiness and joy in your life, love others crazy. And you'll find great happiness and joy. In your marriage, in your business, whatever it is, if you're passionately loving your spouse, and I am depositing, and I always joke, I have 401ks, I have investments accounts in Angel. I want every avenue I can invest because I'm going to take a withdrawal. And I don't ever want to have an overdraw. Why? I don't want my life walking around with an empty love bank. Why can we resolve conflicts quickly? Because I'm always depositing. When I blip, it's okay. She's like, you know what? Husband really does make sure I'm loved. My husband loves me, so I'm going to give him grace and mercy. It's easy to give grace and mercy to your spouse and know that they love you when you're walking around with a full love bank. When it's completely empty, you got nothing to pull from. You can't have grace and mercy. Why? You don't love me. You haven't done anything for me. 10 years, you haven't told me you love me once. I tell you all the time. Stop. If you want a cool marriage, spend all your time making sure your spouse gets what they need, and your spouse spends all their time making sure you get what you need. You don't have to work for it.
I think it's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time in the marriage should probably be spent focusing on how do I make sure their love bank is filled. Do you agree?
Yeah, because there's times you're going to be withdrawing. There's times you're going to have to be like, you know what, I'm doing this because I have to. Not because I want to. Hey, I got to take a work trip. Oh, you're leaving because you don't love me. No, I'm leaving because I have to. Work told me I'm leaving, so I'm leaving. And then you can fill that love bank by saying, I really wish you could come with me. I really wish you were here. When you see something cool on that trip, take a picture of it and say, hey, I wish you were here. I know you'd love to see this. I just wanted to send it to you. The 20% is the things you have to do if you want joy and happiness in marriage, if you want to keep making those deposits, if you want a successful business and you're just overflowing with cash, love bank cash is the cash you should be seeking.
Let's nail the coffin on the different love languages. So acts of service covered, quality time,
Gifts, physical touch. Okay. Most men like to say that physical touch is sex. Sex is not the physical touch. I crack up because I say, if she scratches your back or your head, do you like it? Oh, yeah, I love that. Every physical touch person likes, oh, I love it when they scratch the back of my head. I love when they hold my hand. I love when they give me a hug. I love when they put their arm around me. I love when I'm driving and they reach over and grab my hand. It's you reaching out and wanting to physically touch them.
It's almost like they should relabel it physical touch points.
Yes. Yeah. But I've thought about a lot of his names and I'm like, you know what? I understand why he ended up there, because you could make the titles be 6 miles long, but it's harder to remember.
You got to do it broad too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then people will reject your concept if it doesn't cover, oh, well, I don't like my head scratched, so I'm not physical touch. No. And you can go online and you can take any love language test. They're free. There's tons of them. And there's even examples where you can Google and just say, how do I speak this love language? And it'll give you specifics that you can do. Because I did that for one person. I'm like, here you go. Here's how you can go speak your wife's love language. And he's like, thanks. And words of affirmation are compliments. And they're not just, oh, you look pretty today. It is something specific about the person. Oh, I really like it when you put your hair up. That looks really good on you. I can see your face better. It's something specific about that person and their qualities. And you were telling me something Ariana did when she did the laundry. She's like, you know, you can say, I love the way you do the laundry, man. It is so cool. You fold things so much better than I do. And it just makes my drawers look really cool. Now you're giving her something specific that she did. It's not just, I love when you do the laundry. Okay.
I should say it buys me those 15 minutes to go focus on this project I'm excited about. That's how I would word that. Because she doesn't fold very well.
Okay. But that's the words of affirmation she needs is about her specifically. What about me? What about my qualities do you love?
I shouldn't have said that diss without context. It's a joke in our relationship. I'm like the one that's like, it's got to be folded, socks together, all this. And then she does laundry. It's like, as long as it's in the drawer, it's in the drawer. I shouldn't have said that. If we can cut that out, man, just cut that out. I feel like that's not going to be well received.
That's all right. Make sure the love bank is full, and then that withdrawal will be just a blip. You're taking pennies out when you're putting hundreds in. That's my philosophy.
Then the next love language would be...
That's all of them. Words, gifts, physical touch, quality time, and acts of service. It's 5.
I'm trying to remember what this is a derailment from. It was one of your quotes, I guess.
Yeah. And this leads to our next chapter, which is crisis management. If you have no money in the bank, your business is going to fail. You get to a crisis, hey, the air conditioner broke. It's 11 grand to replace it. We have no money. How are we going to replace it? I don't know. Well, in Arizona, in July, where we're in, if your air conditioner breaks, nobody's going to come into your business. It's going to be 105 in your inside your restaurant. Who's going to eat there? Nobody. But we got to have this air conditioner. So then you do emergency stuff. You go and sell your credit card processing and they take a chunk of your money. So now you're even further you're further from being successful because now you're giving away money just to deal with this crisis. And in marriage, when you're trying to resolve conflict and there's no love in the love bank, that's a hard thing to do because I watch people do it. And there's nothing to pull from. And now you've got this great emergency. I'm empty. Why do I want to do anything for you? You've never done anything for me. And I hate always and never. But I hear it. And it's just hard to understand. And Robin Williams said, people who try to make others happy do it because they know what it's like to be miserable. And they try their hardest. And I know I messed up his quote a little bit, but that's the general context of it. And if you're trying to make your spouse happy, you're not really doing what you should be. You should be just filling that love bank. And then when you have those hard conversations, there's room to navigate that conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that quote is rooted in a self-centered focus. You're doing it because you know what it's like to be in a hard place. That has nothing to do with what the person said they needed. And if you always focus on like what you're getting at is you got to focus filling up someone's love bank and making sure that's full to avoid crisis, or when crisis happens, it can be handled much smoother. It comes from a place of serving the other person over thyself always. And that's even on the good days and things are easy. You got to know how to serve the other person. I feel like that's almost harder. You know, it's like, what are some of the examples in life and maybe in business where they talk about it's like, it's harder to, I'm trying to think like, what do people say the concept of some of the situations they say it's harder to keep what you earned than actually like getting there?
It's harder to stay on top than to get to the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you get there, and especially if you didn't fail along the way, you don't really know how you got there. You just got there by dumb luck. You just got there because, your location was convenient. But if you, like you said earlier, when you start stopping acknowledging that love, well, now you're coming off the top. Why? What got you to the top was acknowledging all the I love yous.
The basics.
Yeah.
The actual tools and the basics got me to there where she is doing things that are loving on me and filling my love bank, and I'm doing things to love in her love bank. And then it starts to taper off because you're not sticking to the basics.
Yeah. Now you're not on top anymore. And then you're like, I don't know how to get there.
I literally just did that in my own business. I went back to the very foundation of my channel, and I'm making more money focusing on the basics, and the business is more profitable because of that. And that's almost a decade later, and I'm almost just laughing, kicking myself. Why did I didn't fully taper off, but it's just the little things that you get to 100%, you're on top, and then it drops to 80 and you're like, no, I'm doing everything right. You're coasting. Everything's comfortable, fun. And I feel like a lot of relationships, the thing that I feel like you get, and maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong. Do you feel like you see the extremely bad scenarios more than lukewarm? Because a lukewarm relationship that just, they think everything's fine, but they don't know how much better it could be, which those people are like so close to, like their aim is off a millimeter. But to me, when I see what you do in counseling couples formally, I always resort to like, oh, they're off 100 degrees. Is that true?
No. And it is that. And it's funny because I'll talk and then I can tell if people really love each other. And I'm like, you guys love each other, so we can build off of that. I don't have to convince you to love the other person. You do love them. And they speak admirably about them. They talk about their good qualities. I hear the good things and I'm like, cool, we got something we can work with. Let's just do some little things, make some tweaks. And I say it, and I'll say it till probably the end of my life, is a good relationship and a bad relationship takes the exact same amount of effort. It's just how you spend the effort.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the basics.
It's being aimed with what actually gets you there and staying aimed on the thing that got you there, because that's going to keep you there.
Yeah. We're communicating. We're resolving every single conflict. We're making each other a priority. We're intentional. We're present when we're home. We're not just here in body. And I hear that a lot in counseling. My husband's never home. Even when he's home, he's not there. And I'm like, do you know what it looks like to be present for your wife?
And that makes me think about how it's like, why does that, the question goes in my head, why does that happen? Well, the more intentional you are, the more it frees up your brain to have time and space and freedom to go other places. And that's where distraction comes and grabs you and starts grabbing you and choking you out slowly. And then you fall again. So it's a matter of working up that disciplinary aspect in your relationship of not just having intention, but pairing it with discipline and maturing into that. Takes a lot of work and a lot of support, honestly, like the support from you, from Kyler, from my parents, or whoever I have in my corner, as anyone would have had in their corner. And that just, it's just that formula of the people around you, the right information and the tools and putting it in and it matching up. The whole business operates, all tides the tide needs to go up, so all ships come at the same time. And that's just the overwhelming part of this that I totally give props. And you got to be patient with people if their relationship is like, oh, like they're 1 degree off or 2 degrees off, and you want to go bark at them. It's like, gosh, dang, like there's a lot to this. You got to be patient with.
Yep. You got to be gentle. You got to be kind, but I'm direct. So I tell people that when they come in, I'm like, I'm direct. If you don't like direct, I'm not a good counselor for you. But yeah, it is. And it was funny because when you start to fall, you blame your spouse. Well, focus on what you did. Yeah, I really wasn't present. Yeah, I don't really engage with the kids. Yeah, we haven't had date night in 6 months. Okay, get back to the basics. Hey, I miss you. I want to spend time with you. I got a sitter. Let's go out Saturday. Let's talk.